Ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about something that many of us have felt but rarely articulate. A truth so powerful that it often hides in silence. It's the moment you realize someone or something you poured your soul into, fought for, cried over, and believed in with all your heart, didn't deserve you. This speech is not about bitterness, it's about clarity. It's about reclaiming your value in a world that sometimes fails to recognize it. It's about the relationships, jobs, communities, or even dreams that demanded everything but gave little in return. Tonight I want to remind you of your worth, to assure you that your experiences matter, and to give you the courage to walk away from what no longer serves your soul. We live in a world that tells us to keep trying, to hold on, to compromise, and to settle. But there comes a time when you must rise above the noise, look at the situation with clear eyes, and say, "No, I deserve better." This speech is for the brave souls who are learning to prioritize their own value. Understanding your worth is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built: your relationships, your ambitions, and your sense of fulfillment. Yet it's one of the most overlooked aspects of personal growth. We live in a society that often equates self-worth with external validation: how much money we earn, how attractive we appear, or how others perceive us. But the truth is this: your worth is intrinsic, immutable, and independent of anyone else's opinions or judgment. To begin understanding your worth, you must look inward, not outward. Who are you when the noise of the world fades? Strip away the titles, the roles, and the expectations others have placed upon you. What remains is your essence, your values, passions, and the unique light you bring to the world. You must learn to embrace this essence, no matter how others respond to it. It's important to understand that worthiness isn't something you earn, it's something you recognize. You are worthy because you exist, because you have thoughts, feelings, and the capacity to impact the world in ways only you can. Far too often, we look to others to affirm this worth. We seek praise, acceptance, or love, thinking their acknowledgement will validate us. But what happens when that validation never comes? Or worse, when it's withheld or weaponized against you? This is why understanding your worth must come from within. It's about seeing yourself as whole, even when others try to convince you otherwise. It's about rejecting the toxic narrative that you need to prove yourself, constantly measure up, or earn someone's approval to be valuable. The truth is, some people may never see your worth, and that's a reflection of them, not you. Learning to recognize your worth often requires unlearning years of conditioning. Perhaps you were told you weren't good enough, that you needed to change to be loved, or that your value depended on your ability to serve others. These messages can create deep insecurities, but they are lies. Your worth is not conditional. It does not hinge on your accomplishments, your relationships, or your ability to meet others' expectations. Start by affirming your worth to yourself daily. Practice self-compassion. When you make mistakes, remind yourself that you are human and deserving of forgiveness. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who see your value without you having to prove it. Most importantly, stop seeking external validation. The more you affirm your worth internally, the less power others will have to diminish it. Recognizing your worth is not arrogance, it's self-respect. It allows you to set boundaries, demand better treatment, and refuse to settle for less than you deserve. When you understand your worth, you no longer beg for scraps of affection, attention, or opportunity. You stand tall, knowing that you bring something unique to the table, and you don't need to shrink yourself to fit into spaces where you're not fully appreciated. In understanding your worth, you reclaim your power. You stop living for others and start living for yourself. And that, my friends, is the first step toward a life that truly honors who you are. Recognizing when someone or something doesn't deserve you can be one of the most challenging and liberating realizations of your life. Often these situations are wrapped in layers of denial, hope, or fear, making the signs hard to see. But when you step back and observe the patterns objectively, the truth becomes clear. Not everyone who enters your life, every opportunity you pursue, or every relationship you nurture is meant to honor your worth. The first sign that someone doesn't deserve you is consistent disrespect. This can manifest in many ways, from belittling your opinions to disregarding your time or boundaries. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, whether personal or professional. If someone regularly undermines your dignity, fails to listen, or dismisses your feelings, it's a red flag. Their behavior is not a reflection of your value, but of their inability to see or respect it. Another key sign is taking without giving back. Relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, should have a balance of mutual effort and care. If you find yourself always being the one who gives your time, energy, support, or love, without receiving the same in return, it's a sign of imbalance. People who truly value you will make an effort to give as much as they take. If the exchange is one-sided, it can drain you emotionally and leave you questioning your own worth. Broken promises are another telltale sign. Trust is built on consistency and reliability. When someone repeatedly fails to follow through on their commitments, it shows a lack of regard for you and your trust in them. This isn't about occasional mistakes. We're all human and life happens. But a pattern of broken promises reflects a deeper issue. Either they're unwilling or unable to prioritize you. Perhaps one of the most subtle yet painful signs is when you find yourself justifying their behavior. You make excuses for their actions, telling yourself, "They're just busy, they didn't mean it," or "I'm probably overreacting." These justifications often stem from a fear of facing the truth, that they don't treat you the way you deserve. When you constantly rationalize their mistreatment, it's a signal that something is wrong. An equally significant indicator is the feeling of sacrificing your joy or peace for their comfort. Do you shrink yourself to avoid conflict? Do you suppress your opinions, feelings, or needs to keep them happy? If the relationship or situation requires you to compromise your authenticity or well-being to keep it intact, it's not a healthy dynamic. Finally, trust your intuition. Deep down, you often know when someone doesn't deserve you. There's a lingering unease, a voice in your heart, telling you that this isn't right. Ignoring that voice only prolongs the pain and prevents you from moving towards something better. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean you're blaming the other party for everything that went wrong. It's about seeing the truth for what it is. They lack the capacity, willingness, or respect to honor your value. This isn't a judgment of their worth as a person, but a recognition of the mismatch between how they treated you and what you deserve. The moment you acknowledge these signs, you reclaim your power. You no longer waste your time, energy, or love on people or situations that don't value you. Instead, you free yourself to find the relationships, opportunities, and environments that do, and that is a courageous act of self-love. Walking away from people, situations, or opportunities that no longer serve you is one of the bravest decisions you can make. It is an act of self-preservation and empowerment, a declaration that you will no longer tolerate being undervalued or mistreated. Yet it is also one of the most emotionally challenging decisions, often fraught with fear, guilt, and uncertainty. The courage to walk away begins with a mindset shift. It requires you to prioritize your well-being over the fear of what might happen next. Many of us stay in situations far too long because we are afraid of the unknown. We tell ourselves, what if I never find something better? Or what if leaving makes things worse? This fear can trap us in cycles of pain and dissatisfaction. But here's the truth. Staying in a situation that diminishes you is far more damaging than taking the risk to leave. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak or giving up. It's a sign of profound strength and self-awareness. It takes immense courage to face the discomfort of change, to acknowledge that something isn't right, and to choose yourself despite the fear of judgment or loneliness. Society often glorifies endurance, sticking things out no matter how hard they get. But endurance without growth is stagnation. Choosing to leave is not an admission of failure. It's a commitment to growth and self-respect. One of the first steps in finding the courage to walk away is recognizing the cost of staying. What are you sacrificing by holding on? Is it your happiness, your peace, your self-esteem? Are you compromising your values or losing sight of who you are? These sacrifices may seem small in the moment, but over time they erode your sense of self and your ability to live authentically. Fear of judgment is another obstacle many face when deciding to walk away. You may worry about how others will perceive your decision, whether they'll think you're selfish, ungrateful, or incapable of making things work. But remember, no one else lives your life. The people who truly care about you will understand and support your decision. even if they don't fully grasp the details. And those who judge you, their opinions often reflect more about their own insecurities than about your choices. Walking away also requires you to let go of guilt. It's natural to feel guilty, especially if the situation involves someone you care about or a responsibility you've carried for a long time. But guilt should never outweigh your need for a healthy, fulfilling life. You are not responsible for fixing people who refuse to change or for staying in circumstances that hurt you. Self-sacrifice has its limits, and prioritizing your well-being is not a betrayal, it's a necessity. Once you decide to walk away, the journey doesn't end there. The act itself can be incredibly liberating, but it's often followed by waves of doubt and second-guessing. In those moments, remind yourself why you left. Revisit the pain, frustration, or neglect that pushed you to this decision. Use those memories as a compass to guide you forward, not backward. Finding the courage to walk away also involves faith in yourself and in the possibility of something better. You don't need to have all the answers or a perfectly mapped out future to take the first step. Trust that by leaving what no longer serves you, you are creating space for something greater. That space might feel empty at first, but it's fertile ground for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your worth. Ultimately, walking away is an act of reclaiming your power. It's saying, I deserve more, and I'm willing to take the risk to find it. It's a journey that starts with fear but ends in freedom. And though it may be difficult, it's a decision that paves the way for a life of authenticity, joy, and self-respect. Walking away is not just an ending, it's a beginning. Letting go of people, situations, or dreams that no longer serve you is a courageous act, but the journey doesn't end there. What follows is equally important: healing. Healing after letting go is not simply about moving on. It's about processing the pain, learning from the experience, and rediscovering yourself. It's a deeply personal journey that requires time, patience, and self-compassion. The first step in healing is acknowledging your emotions. Letting go can stir up a storm of feelings: grief, anger, sadness, guilt, and even relief. These emotions are natural, and suppressing them only delays your healing. Allow yourself to feel the loss fully. Cry if you need to, scream if it helps, or write down your thoughts to make sense of them. Bottling up emotions may seem like a quick fix, but true healing comes from facing them head on. As you navigate this emotional process, remember that healing is not linear. Some days will feel better than others. One moment you might feel empowered, and the next you could be overcome with doubt or sadness. This fluctuation is normal. Be kind to yourself on the tough days and celebrate even the smallest steps forward. Progress doesn't mean forgetting what you've been through. It means learning to coexist with the experience in a way that no longer harms you. A critical aspect of healing is breaking the cycle of self-blame. When you let go of something or someone, it's common to second-guess your decision or wonder if you could have done more to make it work. While self-reflection is healthy, dwelling on what-ifs or blaming yourself for the outcome is not. Remind yourself that choosing to let go was an act of self-love, not failure. You made the best decision you could with the information and resources you had at the time. During this process, lean on your support system. Healing is not something you have to do alone. Reach out to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist who can provide perspective, encouragement, and a listening ear. Sharing your feelings with someone who cares about you can lighten the emotional burden and help you see things more clearly. If you feel isolated, consider joining support groups or communities where others share similar experiences. Knowing you're not alone can be profoundly comforting. Another key part of healing is redefining your narrative. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past, it means reframing it. Instead of viewing the experience as a failure or loss, see it as a lesson. What did it teach you about your values, boundaries, or resilience? How has it helped you grow? By shifting your perspective, you can transform pain into wisdom and use it to guide your future choices. Engage in practices that nurture your mind, body, and soul. Exercise, meditate, journal, or explore creative outlets like art or music. These activities can help you process emotions, release tension, and reconnect with yourself. Surround yourself with positivity, whether that's uplifting books, inspiring podcasts, or environments that bring you peace. The goal is to create a space where you can heal without distraction or negativity. Forgiveness is another powerful component of healing, though it's often misunderstood. Forgiving someone who hurt you doesn't mean condoning their actions or inviting them back into your life. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the grip of resentment. Holding on to anger or bitterness keeps you tethered to the past, while forgiveness allows you to reclaim your energy and focus on moving forward. Finally, healing is about rediscovering your identity. When you let go of something significant, it can feel like losing a piece of yourself. Take this opportunity to reconnect with who you are and what makes you happy. Explore new hobbies, revisit old passions, and set goals that excite you. This is your time to rebuild and redefine your life on your terms. Healing after letting go is a journey, not a destination. It's about finding peace with the past and creating space for a brighter future. While the scars may remain, they are a testament to your strength, resilience, and ability to overcome. With each passing day, you'll find that the pain lessens, the lessons deepen, and your capacity for joy expands. Healing isn't just about recovery, it's about transformation. And when you emerge on the other side, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more in tune with your true self. After letting go of what no longer serves you, the next crucial step is rebuilding your life. This process is more than simply picking up the pieces. It's about creating a new foundation that reflects your values, desires, and worth. Rebuilding is a deeply empowering journey, offering you the chance to redefine yourself, your goals, and your future. It's a time to shed the limitations of the past and embrace the endless possibilities ahead. The first step in rebuilding is reconnecting with yourself. When you've spent months or years in a situation that drained you, whether a toxic relationship, unfulfilling job, or harmful environment, it's easy to lose sight of who you are. Begin by asking yourself, what do I truly want? What brings me joy? What kind of life do I envision for myself? This is your opportunity to explore your identity beyond the roles and expectations others may have imposed on you. Rebuilding often starts with small but intentional changes. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start by incorporating activities that make you happy or give you a sense of accomplishment. Maybe it's taking a class you've always been interested in, revamping your daily routine to prioritize self-care, or spending more time with people who uplift you. These small steps build momentum, creating a positive ripple effect throughout your life. As you rebuild, it's essential to set clear boundaries. Boundaries are a way of protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Reflect on the experiences that led you to let go in the first place. Were there patterns of overgiving, neglecting your needs, or tolerating disrespect? Use these insights to establish firm boundaries that ensure your new life aligns with your worth. Remember, saying no to what doesn't serve you is saying yes to yourself. Rebuilding your life also involves setting new goals. These goals don't have to be grand or career-focused. They can be personal, emotional, or relational. Maybe you want to cultivate healthier friendships, focus on your mental health, or try something completely outside your comfort zone. Goals give you direction and purpose, helping you channel your energy into creating a life that excites and fulfills you. In the process of rebuilding, surround yourself with positivity. This includes not only people but also the environments and media you consume. Seek out individuals who inspire and support you, and minimize contact with those who drain or undermine you. Create spaces, physical and mental, that foster growth and happiness. Whether it's redecorating your home, curating uplifting playlists, or spending time in nature, these small changes can significantly impact your outlook and motivation. One of the most rewarding aspects of rebuilding is rediscovering your passions. When you've been in a situation that stifled you, it's easy to forget what excites and inspires you. Take this time to explore old interests or try new ones. Whether it's art, music, sports, writing, or volunteering, engaging in activities that light you up is a powerful way to reconnect with your authentic self. During this process, it's important to celebrate your progress. Rebuilding your life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Acknowledge and honor every step forward, no matter how small it may seem. Did you say no to something that didn't align with your goals? Did you take a risk and try something new? These victories matter, and recognizing them reinforces your growth and resilience. Lastly, rebuilding your life means embracing the unknown. Letting go often leaves an empty space that can feel unsettling, but that space is also where possibility lies. Be open to new experiences, relationships, and opportunities. Life may not unfold exactly as you planned, but by approaching it with curiosity and openness, you allow room for unexpected joy and success. Rebuilding your life isn't just about moving on. It's about moving forward with intention and purpose. It's about creating a life that reflects your worth and aspirations, free from the constraints of the past. As you rebuild, you'll find that each step brings you closer to a version of yourself that feels whole, empowered, and at peace. And in doing so, you'll not only heal but thrive, crafting a life that honors the person you fought so hard to become. Letting go and rebuilding your life are pivotal steps, but the ultimate goal is to thrive beyond the pain. Thriving means more than simply surviving. It's about reclaiming your joy, embracing your strength, and living a life that feels vibrant and meaningful. It's about rising above the scars of your past and transforming them into symbols of your resilience and growth. To thrive beyond pain is to recognize that you are not defined by what happened to you, but by how you choose to move forward. The first step in thriving is embracing your newfound freedom. Letting go creates space in your life, space that was once filled by pain, toxic relationships, or unfulfilling circumstances. Now, that space is yours to fill with things that bring you happiness and fulfillment. Freedom can feel daunting at first, especially if you've grown accustomed to the constraints of your past. But it's also exhilarating. It's a blank canvas on which you can paint the life you truly want. Thriving also involves embracing self-compassion. Pain often leaves behind self-doubt or lingering feelings of inadequacy. You may question whether you're worthy of happiness or fear that you'll repeat the mistakes of the past. Thriving requires you to silence those doubts with kindness. Treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend who's been through a tough time. Acknowledge your progress, forgive your missteps, and remind yourself daily that you are deserving of a life filled with joy and love. One of the most powerful ways to thrive is to shift your perspective. Pain has a way of narrowing our focus, making it easy to dwell on what went wrong or what we've lost. To thrive, you must widen that lens and see the bigger picture. Every challenge you've faced has taught you something valuable. Every setback has shaped your character. When you view your experiences as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, you reclaim your power to move forward. Thriving beyond pain also means cultivating gratitude. This doesn't mean ignoring the hardships you've endured. Instead, it's about finding the silver linings in your journey. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present and beautiful in your life. Celebrate the small victories, the people who stood by you, and the opportunities that lie ahead. Gratitude is a mindset that transforms even the most difficult days into moments of growth and appreciation. Another vital aspect of thriving is building a life filled with purpose. Pain can leave you feeling unmoored, as if you've lost your sense of direction. Use this as an opportunity to explore what truly matters to you. What are your passions? What impact do you want to have on the world? Thriving means aligning your actions with your values and finding fulfillment in the things that light you up. Whether it's pursuing a career that excites you, giving back to your community, or deepening your relationships, purpose is the fuel that drives a thriving life. Thriving also involves surrounding yourself with positivity. The people and environments you choose play a significant role in your well-being. Seek out relationships that uplift and inspire you, and distance yourself from negativity or toxicity. Cultivate a network of support friends, mentors, or communities that encourage your growth. A thriving life is one where you feel supported, valued, and connected. Lastly, thriving means celebrating your resilience. You've faced pain and emerged stronger. Recognize the incredible strength it took to let go, rebuild, and move forward. Resilience doesn't mean you're immune to challenges. It means you've learned how to face them with courage and grace. Celebrate your ability to overcome and honor the journey that brought you to this point. Thriving beyond pain is a lifelong process. It's not about achieving a state of perpetual happiness, but about living authentically and fully. It's about embracing the highs and the lows, knowing that both are part of the human experience. When you thrive, you don't just recover, you flourish. You create a life that reflects your worth, honors your journey, and inspires others to do the same. Ultimately, thriving is your victory over the pain that once tried to define you. It's proof that you are stronger than your struggles and braver than your fears. And as you thrive, you show the world and yourself that you are not just a survivor, but a warrior capable of infinite growth, joy, and transformation.